dozens of cases of botulism after a church luncheon in Lancaster talked to NBC4. The first case seemed like a stroke.
When I walked in, I realized he was not in the midst of a stroke just by his symptoms.
Now, within days, 22 people were diagnosed with botulism. One woman, in fact, died today. NBC4's Marcus Thorpe spent this day in Fairfield County at the medical center there, talking to the doctor and the CEO about the outbreak. He joins us now. Marcus?
And Kevin, in the first few hours at 5 o'clock, we told you it was a lot coming in. There were dozens of folks who were walking through that door here at the hospital. Now, there were potential patients. They had to do some testing. They had to do an awful lot of things here at the hospital. And so they had to find out, would there have enough room? They worked on treatments. They started working on logistics. They know they saved lives. They also say they were saddened when one patient here didn't make it. The work of saving lives here, it was full speed ahead with this botulism crisis.
It was days. It wasn't just a 6-hour event. This was a much longer duration than even we had anticipated early on.
Dr. Elizabeth Walz was on the front line. She identified botulism early on, but this many patients?
Have you had anything that was even close to this, similar to this?
No.
But this was an emergency, potentially more patients than capacity and equipment. They would try to move some patients.
We weren't really certain where they were going yet. When we looked out the window, we must have had 15 different ambulances sitting here waiting to take our patients to wherever they needed to go.
Doing everything they could to save lives. This team's collective heart broke when Kim Shaw, one of the patients, died.
It was just came in quick, and a lot of things happened that you felt bad that you couldn't really save that one person.
But the scope of this, so many patients with serious breathing ailments, this team is reflective on what they were able to accomplish.
Because people can have so much respiratory compromise, I felt that we did prevent others from dying, and that it really could have been a much more a worse situation.
A real test, a true crisis. It's what they train and prepare for, but it was emotional and taxing.
Physically, yes, but emotionally, that's what we do. I mean, this is why we're here.
Now, this team has already debriefed looking at what went right and maybe what they need to work on in the future. I asked Dr. Walz if anything really surprised her about this, and she didn't even talk about her own team. She says she was actually surprised by the church members and how closely they stuck together throughout this entire process. The CEO here obviously says he's very proud of his team as well. We're live tonight in Lancaster. Marcus Thorpe, NBC4.
All right, thanks, Marcus. And of course, what a situation that was. Now, we do want to stress again that botulism is not a contagious disease. It's caused by nerve toxin produced by bacteria. Generally, you get it by eating contaminated foods. In this case, investigators say they found it was in potato salad made with home canned potatoes. Medical reporter Ellie Merritt joining us now with more on this outbreak. And boy, it's so rare to see it at this size, Ellie.
Indeed, Colleen. And I checked with the Ohio Department of Health today. Their latest numbers show 22 confirmed cases of botulism, including the death of one woman and another 9 suspected cases. We know at least one person is still hospitalized and that 25 doses of the antitoxin were given to patients. They tell me they are wrapping up their investigation, though, since this outbreak is contained and past the incubation period. But there is always risk for anyone in your home. So here's what you should know about preventing botulism. When it comes to canned foods, inspect them. Make sure they aren't leaking, bulging, or swollen. If it spurts liquid or foam when it's opened or smells, toss it. Of course, when in doubt, toss it out. Colleen?
All right, thanks so much, Ellie. And you can find out more about botulism. We've created a link to the CDC site on this subject. Go to NBC4i.com, click on News Links in the red box.
New